guys, my friends on YouTube. Welcome to my orchid channel, Karin's Orchids here in Sweden. It's a tiny orchid channel based in Gothenburg, Sweden. In my apartment, I've got two growing areas. One would be parts of my living room and the other one would be my kitchen. Yeah, I forgot. I have several other types of growing areas if we include the cabinets. And I have this Millspo cabinet. It's a glass cabinet from the IKEA company, and conveniently enough I happen to live nearby an IKEA. It's just around the corner, as Sweden is the country where IKEA was originally founded, so it's very convenient for me. Just around the corner. Yeah, there is a lot of stuff in bloom. It would take me about 5 hours to show all of these goodies to you guys. So you can see I grow a lot of novelty phalaenopsis, which means extraordinary colors and shapes and forms, perhaps a pyloric form, and so on, and scented flowers. So there are a few performing right now. Look at this beautiful tiny twinkle type one. Once, but I'd have two of them. And loads of cattleyas. There's also a lot of cattleyas in bloom or in bud right now, but that would be a video very soon coming. So that in today's video I'm going to show you guys my Tolumnia orchids. It started out by one Tolumnia, wanted to spike. That would be this yellow one, Gyrac Lion. 1 week later I saw yet another spike. And a couple of days later I saw several new spikes. So now we ended up with a bunch of spikes, a bunch of Tolumnias now in full bloom. So I'm going to show these blooms a little bit more closely very soon. And here's, as I said, the cabinet. And for a while, a brief moment, I was a bit uncertain. I regretted a bit that I placed the vendacious types here. Very large orchids, which didn't perform at all. Nothing really happened. Just stood down, took up space. It was a very, very boring cabinet. Until one day, the humidifier, which I've had on the floor there, with a tube sticking in from underneath through the hole there, it crashed for the second time. So 2 new humidifiers gone. So obviously I was doing something wrong, which led me to a new idea to put it on top here. So this is a new one, better one, obviously. Or, no, it's not a better one. It's just a better idea. I stuck the tube in, into the hole there, down here. And of course, naturally, there will be some excess water. That's a con with this idea. So I needed to have a little bucket underneath for the dripping water. Other than that, it was better. It got a bit more air circulation here inside the cabinet. And ever since, the plants in here have been doing better. So never, never add a tube to a humidifier, which is going down. The water will naturally accumulate. And eventually it was stuck inside of the humidifier itself. I don't really know how to explain it, but it got it overheated and it broke, or they broke. So I needed to empty the tube at least twice a week in order for the tube in conjunction with the humidifier to distribute any fog at all. So, well, I guess we'll learn the lessons. Eventually we do. So in today's video, Tolumnia Orchids and a quick update on my Dracula Orchid project. Just very briefly. I'm also going to look at a little bit at other stuff in my kitchen cabinet. Interesting blooms. And talk a little bit about water and what's going on with my most difficult frags. So, new acquisition, 14 centimeter wide Phalaenopsis flowers, could not resist. Anyways, let's get into the kitchen with the Tolumnias. Some of them are garden spike in the summer of 23. But the thing is, they didn't rebloom ever since, until now. So I was starting to worry about that I was doing something wrong with the car. But I mean, I've had Tolumnias before. They were large Tolumnias, and they bloomed on a regular basis on the windowsill, hanging in the window without any additional artificial lights or anything. They just bloomed. But, well, these guys was a bit different. Let's start out with the one I showed you not so long ago in a orchid garden, orchid haul video update. Tolumnia Gyroclya Lady in Red. I was telling you that she's growing all right. Not the best of grower, but she's growing. But I didn't expect her to put out a spike this shortly after the update. Would have been much nicer to show her in spike in the update. Yeah, wouldn't it? Well, we can't change the past. Tolumnia Gyroclya Lady in Red, yeah. So, she's gonna carry red flowers. Now she's in spike. That's lovely, I think. And this is fairly interesting Tolumnia as well. I happened to snap one of her flowers, unfortunately. So now we're only left with 3. So it's not a good blooming, but what's the name? Well, it's a starter purchase, you can see. From 23, the summer of 23, so a little bit longer than for 2 years I've had her. And she started to bloom immediately after I got her. Or perhaps I even got her in spike, I do not recall right now, but and you guys suggested that she was mislabeled. Yeah, and I agreed, of course, as she carried white flowers with brown spots or dark spots to them. So you suggested the name Snow Fairy, and that the Snow Fairy Tolumnia was a really, really sought after one, a rare one. But now, 2 years later, she comes out with a color and pattern to the flowers, which was described in the web shop. So she's a real color changer. This is amazing. How is it even possible? There were absolutely no pink to the flowers last time she bloomed. She was utterly white. But I can't complain. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. Gorgeous bloom. And the Tolumnias aren't scented. And they used to belong to the Oncidium family, Dancing Lady. I just happen to have one Dancing Lady orchid in bloom. You see, as I snapped one of her 3 flowers right now, as the triple stand fell over the orchid. Yeah. What can I say? Dancing Lady types. You can see the similarity. Yeah. Anyways, so now we're left with only 2 flowers. Hopefully she will branch. Oh. But she's got a good root system now. Roots crawling about all over. Inside is quite airy medium I gave her, with bark and perlite and charcoal. Yeah. And One of the other ones, which was included in the Orchid Garden update, was this one. Tolumnia gyracform body. Yeah, somebody suggested that she had rot or stuff like that, but yeah, probably get a thing or two out from this pot. But other than that, this growth is not so bad, really. New one coming. Yeah. Alright. I can agree. It's not a good plant. But the growth isn't bad anymore, so maybe she'll bloom. This one is a first-time bloomer. It's a lovely one. No. Yeah, it's a first-time bloomer. I've never seen this one before. Tolumnia gyracform brown derby. So the JK stands for gyrac. Brown derby. Yes. They're all potted up in the same type of medium. Yeah. It's a dense plant. And she surely is a bit brown-ish. These are maroon, aren't they? With a bit of vinner color shining through. The dark ones are really, really lovely, if you ask me. Especially when viewed from a distance. Oh. This was to purchase from 23, 2 years back. Never once bloomed, so first time bloomer. And these guys last for about 2.5 weeks. Unscented, as I said, but they are able to branch. And that's the best part about them. Look here. It's the strongest plant. This is the one from 24. Summer of 24, so a little bit longer than 1 year. Tolumnia gyrac, firm lion. From Carlin this time. Look. This is the largest Tolumnia I've got. Yes. And new growth forming. This growth is amazing, isn't it? I wanted to show you guys her in full beautiful bloom, but I've had some difficulties lately. I have a hard time. But I've been very busy lately with this personal stuff, private stuff. So sometimes it doesn't go as I planned, but I can give you a little picture of her. But soon we're going to see some more. As I told you guys, branching. These guys are capable of branching. Just as good as a spike. There. Yeah. Tiny spike here. This is what happens when a growth matures well enough. This one. Over to this curling purchase from 24 last summer. Tolumnia gyrac rainbow, and the variety is strawberry. Yeah, it's quite suitable. Oh, look. These rainbow Tolumnias. Yeah, looks like this. I had one before. Very similar. But it's smashing, I think. It's a beautiful Tolumnia. Well grown. Couple of good growth. Not only one. Yeah. And now over to a not so well grown plant. Yeah, it's a disastrous plant if you ask me, but still she blooms. It's a Tolumnia from the summer of 23 as well. I got a couple at the very same time from Swerter. As I was really depressed, so everything was oddly upside down in my apartment when I did this unboxing. But anyways, Tolumnia gyrac flyer red spread. So, and red it is. It surely looks like the picture. I think this one is the loveliest one of them all. Red spread. I never thought this one would bloom. I mean, look at the plant. It's not a good plant. But the flowers are. Indeed they are. Beautiful. So, now you've seen my Tolumnias. Now we're going to see my Draculas as well. And see what happened to them. After 6 months and 2 months. Yes? Well, I guess Tolumnias are very beautiful orchids to have in a collection. And I also guess that you need to wait for them if you want to see some good spikes, some branching spikes. They can bloom very tiny sized. They really can in the optimal conditions. But if you want to see a good spike, I think you need to wait until it's a little bit bigger. So I just have to show you guys. Yeah, 2 things or 3 things. Look. Tolumnia usitana. It's a very, very, very nice Tolumnia orchid. It's a species and it's so bloom willing. You can see here, that one, this one, from that one, new growth. Already another spike coming sequentially, and you can see another new growth and a spike. And the plant itself isn't very wide. The Tolumnia orchids can grow very wide, but this one isn't, or hasn't grown very wide yet. So just a recommendation. And something else I haven't seen in bloom here before is my oranges. Yeah, let's just citrada. Can you see? 4 spikes. But what happened to the spike it produced a couple of months ago? Nothing. So, well, this one looks better, a bit more promising than the first spike she created. So, fingers crossed. And, yeah, the pinnacle. Dendrobium victoria-reginae. Look. Second time in bud. She created a couple of buds. 1 or 2 buds only. Last spring. They blasted. This is looking more promising. Just had to show you guys. Anyways. A nearly blue colored dendrobium. So where's the Draculas? You're hiding behind this lovely, lovely plant. So. Yeah? Am I having trouble again with my Draculas? Yeah, kind of, sort of, but still not. They're in this glass cylinder still. This one is the Dracula Orchids, a species. I had it in a clay pot before. But I think it's doing well in this net basket as well. With some, a little bit more humidity, a little bit more moist than it was before. So now I can keep up with watering, which I couldn't whilst it was sitting in a clay pot with a self-watering frog. So, yeah, a couple of new growth. Yeah, relatively many, to be honest. No spikes, but yeah, I can live with that. And the neighbor plant is the, so where's the tag? Dracula Orchids, also species, from the orchid show in September, so about 2 months, and I got her in spike. But I don't know about this spike, really. It's trying all over again, over and over and over again, to create a good bud which will last just as long as it's strong enough to open. But that never happens. When you reach a good size, it starts to dry off and drop. So, I don't know. I think it's a bit too much drought here. So I move these two guys to the corner here instead, and hopefully it will be better for the buds at least. But yeah, here's another Dracula, also from the show in September, from KG with a looker tag. Pubescens, lovely black, brown black-ish flowers. She came with a spike and a flower. Yeah, not a spike, several spikes. They all blasted and died, so I cut them off. And I was afraid that the whole plant would die on me. But now it's doing a full recovery. See. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5 to the center. New growth. That's great. As almost all of the leaves fell off immediately, directly after I got her. Yeah, so she's hanging there in the shade, or shadier position. And we have this favorite of mine, this vampira. Yeah. Sitting in a vase as well. She's moist, but not damp. She's now creating another new growth. 2 new growth. Yeah, that's great. So she's not dying, and she already looked like this when I got her, bent leaves and stuff. So it's nothing new, but it's all right. It's all right. She's gonna get a little bit of water, just like these guys. Well, today, I showed you guys this bucket in my previous video, but yeah, the viewers got tired of that video relatively fast, so I don't think that many of the viewers on my previous video ever saw this bucket. So I got myself 2 times 10 liters of demineralized water. So absolutely nothing. No salts, nothing. It's just pure, very pure water. So I intend to use this for my Draculas and the more finicky fragmipediums of mine. I just intend to pour a little bit of this demineralized water to the bottom of the glass vase. So, if I measure it with my TDS meter, it will be 0, about 0 at least. So when it's time to fertilize these guys, which aren't very high feeders, I'm going to have better control of how much fertilizer I actually give them. As we wouldn't want to have any salts build up. For example, my frags. Some of the frags are very, very sensitive to salts build-up. I was a bit worried about my fragmipediums during this summer. I gave them far too much light. They were sitting under a relatively strong LED lights, yeah, combined with natural lights and warmth. Loads of fertilizer on each watering. What did I do? Yeah, I put an extra bench here, and I switched the LED tube to something a little bit weaker. Yeah. And no lights pointing right onto these guys anymore. So I found this Fragmipedium Kovacii hybrid. And this is one of my absolutely most expensive plants in my entire collection. Arrived with a newly overbloomed spike. This is here. But nothing ever since for 1.5 years. But what you did get was brown tips. That's a whole lot better now. You can see? as I didn't fertilize her for quite some time now, and I still be giving her tap water. But from now on, there's going to be changes, and she's going to get demineralized water. And she'll do better. But they're all doing better. This is a Kovacii, the one I recently bought from Sverta. After only 2 waterings with tap water, you can see the new leaf coming down there. It's got a brown tip. But hopefully it's going to do better. Now when she's getting demineralized water. Yeah. So that's my plan for my frags. Give them better water. It's going to be worth it. I think I gave around 6 or 7 euro for this 10 liters of demineralized water. But in comparison to what these guys actually cost, yeah, I think it's going to be worth it in the long run. So that's my plan, to give the Draculas, the frags, and maybe Desus in the future, if I can keep one alive, that is, with this type of water. So, this would be the video. I hope you liked it as much as you want to subscribe to this channel and follow my stuff, and we shall talk soon. Bye bye. Take care.